The goal of the CIS 2020 project was to replace a 20-year-old customer information system. Over the past 20 years, our legacy CIS had become highly customized. It had become costly to operate, costly to maintain, and its upgrade path was uncertain. So for us, the clear path forward was to replace the CIS with a contemporary, state-of-the-art customer information system.
The sheer magnitude of pulling off a system replacement of this size and complexity. A group of experts from inside and outside of the utility with diverse backgrounds and cultures came together as one team with one goal in mind: to successfully implement a modern CIS with minimal impact to the external customer, on time, on budget, and within scope.
And then we also had, right at the beginning of UAT is when the pandemic hit, and we had to send everyone home probably a couple weeks into the start of UAT. So all of UAT testing was done remotely.
I'm most proud of the fact that we didn't allow the pandemic to impact our project. So, I mean, with that, the training team had essentially one weekend to switch all of our plans that we had and go to online training, and we were still able to successfully complete training. So I think
despite the magnitude of this project and all these challenges, we were able to rise to the occasion, and we were able to implement this product on time and under budget.
we started change management early. We had people in the system. We did a little exploration event and gave them some hands-on opportunities very early, even though it was the demo. And we also sent out monthly sneak peeks, so we were able to keep people excited about it through the entire life of the project, not just right when we're ready to start training.
We did not rush the process and did a great deal of planning prior to the implementation phase of the project. We did a detailed analysis of the business requirements. Around 3,500 were identified. We developed an extensive request for proposal. We evaluated and scored all the responses objectively. We then selected the best vendor. Internally, we formed a team of decision makers to work full-time on the project.
We put the right people on this project. We put people on the project that had the ability to make decisions, so there wasn't a lot of lost time with people going back and trying to speak to their management or whoever to make a decision on certain things.
We cut deep into our talent pool at Citizens Energy Group. We selected managers and supervisors to come onto our project that would be capable of making decisions real time in order for us to move this project along quickly and efficiently. It's also allowed us the opportunity to backfill the positions that they vacated with some of our high-performing employees and individuals in order to sharpen their skills and also to build our bench strength so that at the end of the project we would have even more talent and more resources available to us to help us through the go-live period.
More analysis on to-dos before we went live. We didn't really put a lot of focus on to-dos. We did have, during parallel build testing, there was some analysis done, but it would have been better if we could have spent a little bit more time looking at the types of to-dos we were getting and kind of analyzing those, maybe even creating some training on those.
The old system and the new system were obviously very different, and I think that we could have prepared a little bit more for the issues that came out of moving from the old system to the new system just by the way that they worked.
Attention to detail and quality is important at Citizens. At times, the team was so focused on implementing a perfect system that it may have slowed down some progress.
I think in terms of things that we might have done better, I believe that we had done an adequate job of communicating with all of our team members the challenges and the sacrifices that were going to have to occur in order to be successful in this project. Yet I think we could have done even more. I think that our folks needed to be better prepared at the very beginning of the project, understanding how much would be asked of them and how much they would need to get done in a short period of time in order to adequately prepare.
Really what the training team faced. We had to learn all of the different business processes. We were very comfortable in one area, which is customer service, but we really had to learn all of the other business processes as well in order to document correctly. So we had to act pretty quick and take on as much knowledge as we could to make sure that our training material was ready for end user training.
So we had documented all of our business processes, and we were kind of getting behind on that, but we weren't stopping anything else that was going on the project. So we had to kind of do double duty, and we had to work that, get caught up on that while other things were still going on. So that
To help us stay focused on this project and our deadlines, we built accountability into our project. We had a cadence of weekly written reports that all of our leads provided to us that we put together.
Out was the difficulty in developing a quality, detailed project plan. Without it, the team would not have been able to measure project progress and scope. However, the team came together from all the different areas, functional, technical, training, and OCM, and provided input, the outcome of which was a high-quality project plan.
We also had in our PMO group a weekly meeting where we all sat down and we talked about where are we with our timelines. Are we in green, yellow, or red status? And being responsible for that and reporting that out on a weekly basis, I believe, kept us up to speed and moving along the way we needed to.
The biggest surprise was definitely the pandemic.
The pandemic.
What was the pandemic?
Was the pandemic.
I do think that a pleasant surprise that came out of it was how we had to adapt. And I think that we did it successfully. We were able to get the entire team home, and we didn't let it impact our project life.
That was totally unexpected. And the timing of it at the time I felt was terrible timing because it was right at the beginning of UAT and training. So we had to quickly figure out how we were going to deal with doing testing remotely.
The flexibility and resilience the team displayed was quite a surprise.
And it required the project team to think creatively and develop and execute contingency plans to maintain the integrity of the project schedule.
This project is not for the faint of heart. You need to be committed from the first moment, and you have to keep that commitment and that sense of urgency up for the entire period of the project. I thought I was ready for that, but I believe that even caught me by surprise. Having our trainers involved early, as in testing, involved in workshops so that they understood why decisions were being made was so very important. And that would have a big impact on the organization.
We have a more stable system now that's easy to use, and it's not highly customized like our last system. Anytime we would do anything in our prior system, any modifications we would make, we would have other things that would break.
Going from that highly customized system to a more out-of-box solution caused a lot of change and impacted many different areas of the organization.
I think the fact that we are now able to take all of our multiple billing systems that we had and combine them all into one. So now we can bill out of one application instead of having to do multiple. And it also, because of that, took away our manual billing as well.
the team wanted to impact the external customer as little as possible.
Our goal was to make this project as seamless as possible, to really not impact our customers in a way that it would change the way they do business with Citizens Energy Group. The obvious one was account number changes. We had to change account numbers. There was no way around that.
They will have one account ID for the lifetime that they're with us. Before, anytime that they had to move or transfer service, they would get a new account ID. It would cause stress on our representatives because they'd have to go and look in different areas on different accounts. So this new account ID is going to keep things seamless, it's going to keep things organized, and it's easier on the customer that they don't have to learn a new account ID maybe every new lease that they get.
Our goal is to continuously provide our customers with new choices and options for doing business with us, and to do so on the channels that the customer chooses.
The biggest benefit to our customers is probably more program options. One thing we can offer them now is to go on a payment arrangement and a budget. So the nice thing about that is the customer can, if they're behind on their bill, they can go on a payment arrangement. We can also enroll them in budget, so they have a flat payment that they need to make every month. And then at the end of their payment arrangement, they're still on budget, and hopefully that helps them pay their bill, and that will reduce calls into the call center and prevent the customer from becoming delinquent. So
I would say first, don't overestimate your readiness for change. Make sure that your processes and procedures are well documented and well understood. I would consider dedicating a full-time staff of internal utility experts to the core project team. I would definitely make sure that you engage an integrator that is experienced and has the capacity to execute a project of this size and magnitude. And then lastly, I would consider hiring professional project managers to assist and really to fill any gaps that you may have in your own expertise.
I think the most valuable lesson that we learned was making sure that you started on this project early, and also engaging with a third party, in our case AAC, to help us with defining our requirements. We started doing that 2 years prior and involved stakeholders throughout the company that use CIS in order to effectively define our requirements. They helped us to identify the product that we would install, in this case C2M. They helped us to choose our business partner to help us with the integration emphasis. A lesson we also learned is to ensure that your team is staffed with your best and brightest folks. We used folks that would be capable of making decisions. We staffed our team with managers and supervisors to help us with that, in order to move decisions along quickly, in order not to get stalled out on decision making.
is to get people involved early. We got our people that were going to be doing testing, we got them involved during system integration testing. I think that was a huge help going into UAT, and probably part of the reason why we were able to complete all the test cases we had within the time. Until you actually have your data in the system and processes are running and things like that, you really don't have a good understanding. So the earlier you can get people in there seeing the result of all of that is better. And not only the tester, the people that are going to be testing the system, but also the people that are going to be training the system.
You should focus on implementing out-of-box functionality. You should challenge each other as a team and seek approval for any proposed customizations. Infosys brought this concept of a solution review board, where we did just that. It proved to be very successful and limited the customizations that we made to ours.
To-dos, to-dos, to-dos. I think that was something that we always heard from other utilities that did a CCNB implementation, was know your to-dos. And although you can always get a really good overview of to-dos, learn what each and every to-do does and how you need to work them before you go live. This was my first project and really my first management position. I was able to learn a lot of management skills from the project, not only managing people, but time management and making sure that, you know, things are held up to a certain standard. But I met a lot of people, and we really opened up the whole organization just on this one project. And so I think that it really allowed me to not only meet other people, but on a personal level, kind of get my name out there and you know, become a reliable resource for people.
It was go live day. So I've been on many projects, large projects like this before, and we've never gone on live on time. So sitting in the boardroom with other members of the PMO and saying we're ready to go live and feeling good about it, feeling confident that we're ready, and being able to do all that on time, and with the pandemic that hit and everything, it was the most rewarding time of my career.
I had the opportunity to learn a set of new industry-leading technologies and be part of a transformational project that positively impacted a large portion of our utility.
Being able to do it during a pandemic, we were 4 months from go live and receive the order. We all need to remotely work and to disband and to move to our individual homes to carry out this project. And yet we were able to do it on time and under budget.